Good morning. Our topic for today is finding the center of a parabola when we're in standard form. Standard form is like this when there are no parentheses. A lot of times we'll refer to standard form as ax squared plus bx plus c. The number that x squared is multiplied by we'll call a, so 2 in this case. The number that x is multiplied we'll call b. In this case, -8 would be our b. And in this case, and the c here is the number that's by itself, we'll call 5. Those numbers, the 2, the -8, and the 5, determine where that vertex is going to be. So let's see how those affect the vertex. If we change the 5 to a 6 or to a 7, it just moves the parabola up or down. It does not change this center here, which is at 2. If you looked at it enough, you might notice that if we take not -8, but the opposite of that, if we take 8 and divide it by 2, we would get 4. That's not where the center is. The center is not at 4, it's at half of 4, which is at 2. To test that theory out, let's change this 2 to a 4. The opposite of this would be 8 divided by 4 would be 2. Our center isn't here at 2 though. Our center is at half of that, at 1. So it looks like the theory is working. So again, standard form means no parentheses. We often refer to it as ax squared plus bx plus c. For this case, the a would be 3, the b would be -6, and the c would be 5. To get the vertex, remember what we did is we took not this b value of -6, but the opposite of that, 6. So we took the opposite of b and we divided it by a, which was 3. And that didn't give us a vertex. We needed to take half of that. So that's where this 2 comes from. And where that center is going to be is the opposite of b divided by 2 times a. First, let's quickly get used to finding the a, the b, and the c. In this case, the a is 3, the b is -12, and the c is 5. It's nice, it's in its own order. For the second one, I need to think of this as 1x squared. So the a is 1, the b is -6, and the c is 1. For the third one, I could think of this as 2x squared plus 0x minus 10. So a is 2, b is 0, c is -10. For this last one, the a value is what x squared is multiplied by. So it's -1x squared. The a value would be -1. The b is what x is multiplied by. So the b would be 6. And then the c is the number that's by itself. So the c would be 5. Sometimes people like to rewrite this first in order. So -x squared plus 6x plus 5. Let's use our formula to find the center of each of these parabolas. For the first one, a is 3, b is -12. Remember, our formula for the center is the opposite of b divided by 2a. b is -12, so the opposite of b is +12. a is 3, so 2a is 6. So the center should be with an x-coordinate of 2. And if we check at the graph there, it does look like the center is right there where the x-coordinate is. Make a table that includes the vertex. Again, this one is written out of order, so you got to be a little careful here. It's -1x squared, so a is -1, and it's 6x, so b is 6. The center is going to be opposite of b over 2a. So b is 6, the opposite of b would be -6. A is -1, so 2a is -2. So the center would be -6 divided by -2 is 3. And now I can make a little table here. I want 3 in the center because that's my vertex. And it's the usual deal. Take the 2, plug it in for each x in the equation. I like to think of this as being that number I'm plugging in as being in parentheses. So it's going to be 6 times 2 minus 2 squared plus 5. If you have a calculator, you can type it in just like that using the parentheses. If you dump this into the calculator, calculator would give you 13. If you do this by hand, this would be 12. 2 squared would be 4, plus 5. 12 minus 4 is 8, plus 5 is 13. We'd do the same thing, plugging the 3 in for each of the x's, and we'd get 14. And then we'd plug the 4 in for each of the x's, and we would get 13 again.